Final Fantasy XIV has been one of the top MMORPGs on the market for quite a while now, and honestly, it's been my only regular MMO for all my life. Hello, my name is Mel, and welcome to my little spot of the internet. I've been introduced to the game around my tween years when I stumbled over a video of character creation on YouTube. I found the Mikotes cute, and I've been playing ever since. Not as a Miko, though. Now, how and more so, why did I replay A Realm Reborn when Game Plus exists? Well, dear viewer, I have no idea myself. Maybe it was nostalgia, maybe it was the fact that I absolutely hate Dawn Trail, maybe it was pure boredom. Anyway, I did it. A week of playing every day and reading all of the dialogue that I shamelessly skipped when I was 13, I can wholeheartedly say ARR is absolute ass. And it's not only me who thinks this. Take my best friend Ricky, for example. I've been begging him to play the game with me for years, and him being the good and lovely and nice friend he is, he installed it, got to level 20, and dipped. This video is going to be my theory and explanation on why I think Final Fantasy XIV has a hard time retaining new players, how it could be fixed, and hopefully you can add to the discussion in the comments. I will not only use my experience as an example, but also Ricky's, as I think it's good to have multiple perspectives. Problem number one for most people I've played with is quest design. After going through a banger character creator and realizing you can only be a hot mommy Viera if you pay, getting hyped by the first cutscene, you get thrown into the realm of Eorzea to fetch me 50 lines of filler dialogue. This wouldn't inherently be a bad thing for the beginning. There is not much you can do at level 1 through 15 without overwhelming the player. Plus, I get that the story tries to make you feel like you are earning your way to being a hero, but I do firmly believe torturing the player by making them walk all the way to Garlemald and back without anything better to do than skip dialogue is a pure game design choice. Oh, and by the way, this is all of ARR. To be completely fair, I didn't find the task of going through them that daunting, as I did originally play it before the rework on cutscenes and voice acting. So, for me, it was an actually pleasant experience. But for the average gamer that comes from a world of visual and auditory overstimulation, getting into Final Fantasy XIV is like having a stale meal and getting promised a feast afterward. Taking my friend, for example, again, the reason he couldn't get into the game for a long time was the absurd amount of fetch quests. And what could I do? The dialogue is interesting. ARR sets a good and firm base for the world of Final Fantasy XIV, but most of it is hidden in easy to skip text bubbles with no indication on how important the information you are skipping actually is, no voice acting, and no way to actually make the player seek the information afterward. Most days of us playing was him doing the fetching and me in the background of the voice chat explaining what he was actually skipping. And guess what? It worked! The lore got him hooked. But now imagine someone who is playing alone, with no way to know how good the game is because it doesn't have the necessary facilities to engage the player into getting curious. This is one of the more important reasons I think players quit early. I have also asked a few friends from my free company to say what they would change first about ARR. Here they are. Remove all of ARR. There is no fixing. Or everyone should have AoEs on level 15 for Sastasha. I found the argument about the AoEs at level 15 relevant. Most classes, especially the starters, do not possess an AoE ability until the late 30s or early 40s. This obviously makes the starting dungeon experience not only hard, but also very annoying. Dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV work very simply. A few stacks of mobs, a boss, repeat 3 times, and you're done. Now please imagine doing a wall-to-wall pull of around 15 mobs without any AoEs. Sure, it is doable, but it does raise a few hairs on being excruciatingly irritating, especially in the first dungeon, Sastasha. This is supposed to be the introduction to what I consider the most fun part of the game, but for the new player, it paints a boring, badly thought out process, and I can see someone quitting the game after getting that first bad impression on dungeons. You can't really trust the process on every aspect of the game. Final Fantasy XIV really excels on highlighting everything that is bad about itself, leaving the player to trust that, oh, it gets better after level 50. Why would I want to put in 30 hours in a game that disappoints me in every aspect of the early game? Why would I want to pay Square Enix $13 a month for a service that is so self deprecating about all of its mechanics for a whopping 50 levels? The ARR experience is a mess, but I don't think it's entirely non fixable. Here is how I would attempt to fix it, ignoring budget or the need to add new expansion content. I would actually take a break from releasing new content for a few months just to revise A Realm Reborn again. Call it A Realm Reborn, if you will. First of all, I would go over the class progression system again. Add AoEs available at level 15 for every class to ease the dungeon experience for new players. Second of all, I would either erase half of the existing fetch quests, either actualizing them with newer quest mechanics from Endwalker and Dawntrail, if not deleting them permanently if a complete rework is too lengthy of a process. Third of all, I would add, in one way or another, some kind of indicator of how important the lore presented in text bubbles is, either by adding more voice acting or just simply highlighting how important or interesting the information is. I know it would take a lot of effort from the team, and a complete rework of ARR was already made, but if Square Enix wants new players instead of bringing back an old fanbase every patch, something needs to be done. The game is spectacularly good for an MMO and an RPG, and in my opinion, the second expansion, Heavensward, is the better one of them. Why lose players at the first one when the rest would keep them hooked for years? To not end on a disappointed note, I personally did enjoy ARR somewhat. It is no longer painfully long, and the nostalgia of feeling like a beginner to the game again made me feel like a teenager. So, please do subscribe or leave a like or just a comment, and let's continue the discussion after the video.